Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to wish you all a beautiful, happy new year. We are now in 2026, and as I was reflecting on this past year and just the energies leading up to this, I feel like there was so much preparation in my own life, and I could see that unfolding in the lives of others as we were in that year of the snake and we were shedding the old. And so, for myself, right, and for many of you, last year would have been this deconstruction, this dismantling of the old you, and starting to begin to prepare and step into and embody the truth of who you really are. And we are these beautiful spiritual beings having this human experience. And I feel that the energies of 2026 is we are beginning to embody that, beginning to step into the expression of that. So for me, as I'm reflecting, I have been feeling this almost like a tsunami of energy, a wave of energy that is bringing and pushing me forward. My soul has been calling me forward. And so to express. So expression for me and to share in 2026 is a part of what I really truly feel called to embody. And so I have been guided to do this beautiful challenge. I have chosen to do this challenge of coming on here and sharing with you my spiritual insights that I receive in meditation each morning. And so I am going to commit to 40 days of being here with you and sharing my insights. And so I invite you to join me on this journey. And so this journey is going to be one of growth and focus and truly that expression, right? So I will be sharing and expressing to you everything that I receive as I move through this journey. So I am excited for everyone in 2026. I feel the energy is just massive. There's huge changes that are not just taking place in the ethers anymore, but that we are beginning to anchor into the physical. So we're going to start to see the our physical reality changing. So for those of you who have been on this spiritual journey and you have been doing that internal work and you have been alchemizing, right, the distortions, the parts of yourself that are no longer serving you, that have been limiting you, this change, this willingness is going to begin to really anchor in and step into embodiment as we go into 2026. So I have been feeling that, and I am so excited to embrace it and be here. And I know that this will be a year of not just exponential growth, but exponential sharing and expression. So this morning, and one of the things as have been reflecting over these last few weeks, I have been noticing that the other thing I wanted to say is that my videos are not going to be about perfection at all. So if I stumble my words or I pause, it's because I am just reflecting and I am bringing forth the frequency of the truth of what I want to share with you. So on my journey this last year, my life, as I'm sure many of you, there has been a lot of dismantling, a lot of deconstruction, a lot of shedding of the old version of yourself, of myself. And it has been very challenging, I will say. It was a very exciting and amazing year, but it was also very challenging. And what I wanted to share with you is on that journey of this last year, I have gotten closer and closer to God. And one of the things I've noticed in personal development or healing circles is that people are wanting to tread lightly in this discussion of bringing God into the picture, of talking about God. And I'm not going to tread lightly in that at all, because my entire journey has been just that. And if I go back to, a long time ago, before God was really in the picture, I can say that, I was reminded when I was a child that I was just intimately connected with God. And somewhere along the way in my environment and my experiences, I became very disconnected with God. And, turned away from God and was very distracted with all of the things in this world. And I had a lot of challenging experiences, as I'm sure you did as well, or have, right? Our lives can be one of a struggle. I think that's a common theme amongst humans, is struggling in life. And why does it feel so hard? And in my one moment of sheer breakdown and desperation and having nowhere to turn, right? Being like 3,000 miles away, isolated from family, friends, penniless, I I was on the floor. I cried. I cried out to God, and I said, I've got nothing left. So I invited God into my life, or I drew upon everything that had been kind of touch points in parts of my childhood around Jesus and God and Mother Mary and the archangels. And I just prayed to God in that moment, you know, and I asked for a miracle. I asked to be, I just asked for help. I just said I couldn't do it anymore, right? And I didn't want to struggle anymore. I didn't want to suffer anymore. And the very next day, actually within 2 days, I was able to leave where I was, because I was in an abusive relationship and I was penniless. I didn't have access to any funds or anything to actually get out of that situation. And so what happened is that person that I was with just decided I could leave and gave me the amount of money I needed to get on a plane and go home to see my family, like my parents and my sisters that I hadn't seen in over 2 years, 2.5 years. So that was my first miracle. And I made a promise in that moment that I would just let God lead my life. And I would keep listening. And I've done that ever since. And so what I've noticed now, right, many, many years later, is that in the world, what I'm finding is that we are desperately needing, our souls are calling us to remember the truth of who we are, to remember God, to remember that we're more than these human beings. We are these spiritual beings made of pure divine love and light. And we're meant to remember that and begin to embody it. And when we begin on that path and that journey of asking, is there more to my life? Then we have this opportunity to be guided by our soul, by this higher spiritual power, this infinite intelligence, right? And many of you might be even triggered by me saying the word God. You know, I used to be afraid of saying it because I thought I'm going to offend somebody, or they're not going to like it. And now I just recognize that that's okay. It's okay if you don't like it. It's okay if you're offended by it or it triggers something within you. And it's just part of your journey. It's part of the awakening. It's part of um, the, the fact that we have had so much suppression, so much trauma, so much distortions that we've experienced in this human experience. And so um, it's it's normal. It's normal to be afraid. I mean, we've been persecuted for that, you know, in not just this lifetime, but other lifetimes, right? So what I wanted to bring awareness to is that in the personal development field, or um, I've noticed that many people touch so lightly on this. They talk about many other things, but they aren't really bringing God into the equation, or they're bringing it into the equation very briefly. You know, it's kind of like um, dipping your toe in the water to see what the reaction is going to be. But if you have been struggling in life, if you have been suffering internally, maybe with your emotions, the thoughts that you're thinking, the way negative self-talk, things that are really keeping you limited from being who you want to be, from living the life that you want to live, from living a life filled with joy and love and fulfillment, then maybe, just maybe, right? I'm inviting you to consider staying here with me for the next 40 days as I share insights and begin to remind you that you don't have to do this journey alone. And we don't. We've actually never been alone on this journey. We have had a beautiful spiritual support team, and we just haven't been aware of it. We've been asleep, we've been unconscious. And now we're being called to become conscious, to live consciously, to recognize what energy and frequency and vibration we're bringing into each day, into our relationships, not just with ourselves, but with our children, with our families, with our communities, with the world. Because when we emanate divine unconditional love and we can embody and remember that, it will transform everything in life. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the Grand Canyon, but the Grand Canyon is so beautiful, and the rock formations of the way in which the water has run on these rocks and over time has created these immense, absolutely stunning, I would say, like artwork, mastery of beauty, the way the rocks have been shaped by this continuous flow of this water that was running in that area. And over time, this is what was formed. And so love, that unconditional love that is always flowing from God to us, through us, it can transform and alchemize the hardest of hearts. So we might be closed off. We might be triggered by this video. We might be questioning a lot of things in our life. But if we just open to that flow of divine unconditional love that has always been there for us, it's like a river. It doesn't stop flowing, right? It's just we might be sitting on the riverbank. We're not actually in the flow of it. We're closing off from it. We're choosing to be out of that river, out of that flow. And so the flow of the river, the flow of unconditional love from God is always flowing. It never ceases. Just like life is always changing, that is a constant. change in life is a constant, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to embrace it or not. It is truth. And so this unconditional love is flowing. And all we need to do is bring our awareness to God and say, yes, yes, I'm choosing now to receive this unconditional love that you have been supplying this whole time. And I'm willing to be changed by it, right? So that willingness to be changed by it. And so you can say a little prayer, right? You can bring your awareness. This is about bringing your awareness to God, bringing your awareness to God, Goddess, Holy Father, Holy Mother. And so my little prayer is, I always say, in the name I am that I am. And the reason I say that, it's written about in different places, and it's written about, in the Bible and just other texts. But in the name I am that I am is speaking from that place of your higher self, your spiritual being. And so it's from this higher knowing, right, that I am bringing forth this prayer. So I say, in the name I am that I am, I decree and bring and I call forth and I acknowledge the presence of Holy Father, Holy Mother. I acknowledge the presence of Holy Son, Holy Spirit. And I bring my awareness and I just say, in this moment, God, I think I may have closed my heart. I may have turned away from you. I think I know what love is, but there's something inside of me that tells me there's something more. And I'm open to receive, I ask to receive the unconditional love through my being, my whole being, my physical, mental, emotional, and identity bodies. And I'm willing to change. I'm willing to I consent to changing. I am willing to allow myself to be transformed. Just like when a butterfly, right, is in a cocoon and it's a caterpillar for so much a part of its life. It's inside this cocoon, and it's just allowing, right? It's allowing that life force energy, that unconditional love essence to morph it into this butterfly. And then that cocoon opens one day and it's this full blooming of this butterfly, and it has been completely transformed. Its old self is no longer. It carries forward the wisdom of that. It's all the identities, all of the experiences, all of the things that it has come to know, it carries that forward. It's wisdom. So every experience in our life is allowing us to receive our own wisdom, our own knowing, our own truth and remembrance of who we are. It's provides us with this opportunity to experience life. So I invite you to invite, right, that presence of God back into your life, or if you already are connecting with God, to bring the awareness to God more frequently, right? So bringing it into a daily practice bringing it into every moment, every mundane moment in your life, right? When you're doing dishes, when you're checking emails, what if you paused and kept bringing your awareness back to the presence of Holy Father, Holy Mother, God? So that is my message, my expression today that I wanted to share with you on this journey. And I am looking forward to each and every day, because I know that over these next 40 days that I will be growing and I will face challenges and I will move through those challenges. And I hope that you guys will subscribe to my channel and to support me. That would be wonderful. And to join me on this journey. And I will do my best to read and reflect on your comments. And just as I'm being respectful in sharing with you, I ask that you be respectful in return. And I send you my love and blessings. And I'm really excited for 2026. Thank you for being here. And I'm excited for all that is coming your way. And I know that on this journey of these next 40 days that we can become closer to God, closer to really understanding and knowing ourselves, and also bringing that wisdom and those insights into our life and embodying it and integrating it. Because I know that when we do that, our life is going to become better. It's going to transform. So thank you.